Etifu akwa Badela Be TV nation message and then abachane isu anwa hicha doma nwa subscribe nwa like nwa shama wane pense mi bi etie so enye bi etie na message obajebre ni adaje ni aborwa ensem ni na den sema etwegu no yede emo ensem enyina epebremo na ye borwa ensem ni ma sese no tatwiti kata trend pa yes obabanteni ensem bi betudja Ebra Mobekaya and Torkornoo bias against NDC lawyers ne NDC MPs no. Chatuchikata beclare and say come here say niema kusu judiciary service na Torkornoo yeno. The future is pregnant. Now the word the future is pregnant no ene chatuchikata dodo na say chatuchikata a prophet. The word now chatuchikata kutu ye no ene awo Torkornoo exposing more na yemungrem na yintie nsem bi yeba ti aka na de emu nsem bebremu
oppose. Okay, 18%. So only 20% oppose her removal. Only 20%. The rest of the country feel that confidence in the judiciary must be restored. Maybe as leader of the judiciary, maybe if she is removed, then that confidence that we are looking for in the judiciary, as a Ghanaian, I don't have to suffer injustice because me NDC ni. Nobody deserves injustice. Look, there are people who went to jail for crimes they didn't commit. They spend their whole lives. And if you are lucky, maybe you find a pro bono lawyer who will take your case and investigate and have you removed. But if you are not lucky, you'll be in jail for a crime that you never committed. That is injustice. That is injustice. And look at that. What money when so and our man like she's done this. Say any time born. What money when so it different wole. It different wole. That's why he was looking.
Yeah, she should look back at herself and go home and say bye bye.
Yeah,
that be suspended. The guy has more power than you. What do you say?
But like I said, no, I don't think.
Who is one share a year list,
look at this video one.
The grounds for her suspension, no, the kind letter now a fee presidency, no, almost say they have
her response to the president.
After her response, they have investigated, they have looked at the petitions, and and like I said, that this thing started in 2024, not even under His Excellency John Mahama. Okay. This process to remove the Chief Justice, I'm stressing it, the process to remove the Chief Justice started under Nanado with a petition. And it is continuing with 3 more petitions. Okay. And based on the petition, the President has found reasonable grounds for the Chief Justice to answer certain questions. Mm-hmm. And it is based on those grounds, President Akache Yamami Chief Justice say on Kotinefi a suspension. Kotinefi any investigation. He has set up a 5-member committee to look into the allegations. Say allegations a 5-member committee no Kotinase. No more yet now they don't find any case against her. I'm sure that she would go back to her position as chief. But if any wrongdoing is found against her, then I'm sure that going forward, the grounds for removal would follow from there. So we should allow
the recommendation will come from that
the 5-member committee.
5-member
but
committee,
for now,
I formed that committee.
Oh, their names are here.
Their names are there. I know. The former Auditor General is in it. Yes. You can mention the names.
Daniel Yaodomolevo is there. Justice Samuel Kobna Edubi Justice of the Supreme Court is also there. Then Major Flora. As for the middle name, I cannot mention. Dalago.
Yeah.
Yes, and then Professor James Sefa Jisa, Associate Professor, University of Ghana. They are all members.
So there are two members of the Supreme Court on it.
Pamwine, and then there's that judge here, Justice Samuel Kwame Edibu Esiedu.
Yes.
Justice of the Supreme Court.
Wow.
So we have to allow the committee to do its work. Anonymous 7. Anonymous 5 and anonymous 7. Anonymous 7 almost 30 precedents, no. And see, anyway, so the committee will do its work. Now, how did we get here? Is the question. How did we get here? How did we get here, Alistair? Yeah. Because Ghanaians have lost trust in the judiciary. In any government setup, you know, we have the judiciary, we have the legislature, and we have the the executive. But in the past 8 years, what we saw was that the judiciary was taking instructions from the executive, and the ordinary Ghanaians started agitating. So even when there's a case against an individual based on where the political party or how the person is seen now, you can tell how the judgment or the ruling is going to come out. And see, before it comes out, you can predict, say, where a anonymous 7 for they are going to do their thing. So there's like more or less mistrust with the judiciary. Because I say, on one of our campaign trails, His Excellency John Mahama spoke to them and told our justices, say yes, Nanado Ena appoint him as Chief Justice and as a Justice of the Supreme Court. But however, your term is protected by the Constitution, so it is up to you to ensure, say, you do the right thing. Do not. Men can say Nanado na appointee wunti, you are going to dance to his tune. So can say jeli NDC ni we are now jeli no. So can say mia wensa na wa mia wensa. That is not how justice works. Until Lady Justice herself was suffering under the past government, and we saw that on the 7th of January when at the conference center, a bus full of judges were being ushered to the Independence Square, and ordinary Ghanaians were hooting at that bus full of judges. We saw it. Yeah. That was how low it went when a group of men and women in a bus were being taken to the Independence Square, and they were being hooted at. They were sitting in the bus. The video is in the public. They were sitting in the bus, but when people saw that this bus contained judges, people started hooting at the bus. So we need to ensure that the trust that we have in our judiciary, that trust must come back to the extent that when I go to the court, I know that I'm going to get justice. Not to the extent where I will not go because I know that the people there will know me as an NDC person, and so I'm not going to get justice. Justice is not for sale. Justice should not be for political appointment, where maybe you are a Supreme Court judge, a High Court judge, and you please your friends and government in power so that you be promoted to Court of Appeal judge. Justice should not be pushed aside for you to be able to climb up your career. That is unfair to the people that you are meting out justice to. So this thing is going to be a precedent. I know people are saying, okay, Oyoba. At the end of the day, it is the office that we are looking at. We are not looking at gender here. She occupies, she's not the first female judge. Justice Georgina Wood has been there. Sophia Kufu has been there. I don't think that there were any of these charges against these two honorable women that I have just mentioned their names. So whatever she did, and there are some memes. Mugabe, you know what a meme is? When we say Diana, Ebia Metihona, Minimi, Huna, Mayemenim Bibi, then it goes around as a meme. Yeah. Then people start using it. In Ebia, who send you a big message, and then they will send my face as a meme to you. Yeah. So there are some memes where she was sort of eyeing JM in public. Yeah. And that meme went around with the Chief Justice, JM and and our body language and facial expression says a lot. Yeah. It tells a lot about what we are thinking. I always say what my mouth will not say. Look in my eyes, you see it. Say bibina mpese meka. What is all written in my eyes. You see what exactly I'm thinking. So we could actually tell what she was thinking about His Excellency Joe. But I don't think it has anything to do with that. That's her personal. So you can't force her to like JM whether open or pen asemo. But we have seen so many instances where the law should have gone a certain way, but it went the other way because you could see that there were some higher hands pulling the strings, and I believe that didn't augur well for her. And Tina, Musa Dankwa did a research, a poll. He conducted a poll.
Global Info
Global Info Analytics. Yeah. And about 58% of Ghanaians, 52% of Ghanaians, 58 na ye winnie and they be in the woman team. 52% of Ghanaians want her out.
Yeah.
So if 52% want her out now, then she's toasted.
18 neutral.
18, yes, she's toasted. You cannot continue to be there. Justice is very, very important.
So your global info analysis now.
Yeah, and then 52% and Gray no year 11 year almost on the neutral. What we are even talking about. There's one Auditor General's report that I chanced on, where her daughter was collecting per diem.
Yes, 10,000.
She was traveling with her daughter. Yes. Your children are not supposed to collect per diem.
She's above 18 years too.
She's above, and listen, when you are traveling, the only person whose ticket, airfare must be bought is you, the officer. The government or the state does not need to buy a ticket for your spouse, or unless
even the husband went to Zambia, they paid him $6,000.
Yes. So her children were on government whatever. Omu business class ticket momo. Na yasa amomu per diem. In what capacity was her child, her daughter collecting per diem? A day juma no kwa koya ma bang and see na ye tuya ni ba. And as a Chief Justice, you should know better. You see, the bar that we use to measure the Chief Justice is higher. So you do not let your children, you don't put yourself in that position where your children are being paid per diem. Dear Juana wobano okwakwaya ma banti ana yedi yesika 8 per diem. For what? For what?
Number 4 the whole.
For what? What did the American say? And in the past, when Charlotte Osei was being removed, Charlotte Osei herself was a woman. A female judge is going to be removed. Where were they when Charlotte Osei was removed? Aye gun enimasi or Bema Baku a cultural petition. Bema Charlotte Osei family share no emani ye nipa turning around because of political dending. SLA mefane say obi ete say ni nua because he grew up in their home. Where were those people? This country is full of hypocrites. When it suits them, they will condemn it. When it doesn't, when they wanted Charlotte Osei out there, not Charlotte Osei, no a bear man, I know a hemophrodite. But where do your bands and fancheno? Baby, the justice system is very expensive. People's lives depend on the justice system. And if the justice system is corrupt, and something must be done about it. Something must be done about it. And like her, she's a judge. She's had instances where people's lives have come before her, and she has had to take the decision on their lives to determine whether they are wrong or right. This time, that's why we are in a constitutional rule. No one is above the law, not even the president. The president is also not above the law. And the Chief Justice is not above the law. So if there's anything that has been found untoward in the petition has been found against her now, she will face the law accordingly. Same way that people are brought to her for her to judge, be the judge, and to determine their fate. She would also face that the same. We are all not above the law.
Very well. Alisa, you share also dear. Now maybe I'm a video a boy.
Yeah.
Or share or my ruling on the speaker issue a case now. Or may say 4 constituencies be say nipa or only 100 of is it thousands of people living in that area. You share now you share Asinov. Now you share as we speak, Greater Accra region here, or one of the constituencies in the region, Ablekuma North. they still don't have a representative in parliament.
Yeah. Mugabe me da senior kwenya o de mame. De bia me de family bra, me say family bra sa. We no. Family bra sa. Madam for Porsche and na odi ni birthday into baby o bia.
Porsche madam for.
Oh madam for. Cross our laws cry ni me no. Oh madam for odi ni birthday.
Porsche no.
Porsche no. Me de ni baba be chia. Oh madam for. Obisa questions too much. Obisa questions.
I say one man.
One man, one wife. With the beginning and Casababa, or what?
Yeah, Porsche.
Won't so dear. Obisa end of semester questions. So, Mugabe.
Today
I'm happy. Papa, me badu na me Mugabe. Na me ni aji woke mwa na me suspension. No. What? Muza be tie. We should swinging tie. Yeah, you ready? Ya pamo. There's no way she'll return from the suspension. I'm telling you, there's no way she's going to return from the suspension. Look at the 5 people who have been constituted. Who can say dom level so yes. Why? Aren't you in this country? What is good for the goose is equally good for the gander. Mugabe, you see JM, and I am Muntie 3, and you co prison on false charges. Yes. On false charges, I say it every time. Mugabe, how did our warrior in Chi tend to rape in the Webster dictionary? And there will be a school saying, I read literature in school. A warrior in Chi, when you bring it into English, it means marriage.